My first practical experience took place in a Year 1 class at a government school in southwest Sydney, where the socio-economic status is middle range. The school is relatively large with approximately 1,500 students and has roughly 7 Year 1 classes. Most learning was done in our separate classroom, when some lessons would be with another class next door. The school self-measures next to the Excellence Framework, which underpins school planning and reporting approach. This school aims to improve learning outcomes within numeracy and literacy with students. Students are expected to collaborate effectively and understand what they are learning about in their classroom. The school has many strengths, including student-centered learning goals, effective and ongoing professional development days and courses for teachers, as well as improving their facilities and teaching methods to suit students' needs and abilities. The teacher displayed expectations and goals along with the students' artworks that they have completed at the front and the back of the classroom. The table structure was in rectangles and one shaped as a horseshoe, where 6 students were placed on each desk. This allowed students to effectively work in groups and was strategically placed so students could move around the room easily, as well as the teacher when marking or checking on the progress of their work. The classroom was equipped with an interactive whiteboard and iPads for 2 separate classes to use. My mentor teacher was able to control the class with structure and routine, where the students were able to listen throughout each lesson. Students were able to move their names up the chart and also receive gems, so students were able to have control of their learning and were given rewards for good behaviour. If a student received more than 5 gems in their tub, they were allowed to choose a prize from the box. In my class, there were 23 students, where there was more boys than girls. Approximately 35% of students spoke a language other than English. Generally, the class had low levels of numeracy and literacy. However, there were 5 students who reached a standard of where they needed to be in Year 1 and above. The class achievements and abilities were diverse, where 79% of students excelled in literacy and numeracy, while 5 students required extensive support in the subjects. Students were confidently able to communicate what they were learning and work collaboratively with their peers. However, some aspects were not evident in the classroom. Problem solving was not done throughout each lesson, where students rarely had the opportunity to focus on one task at a time individually, which also links with risk-taking. Students were engaged throughout lessons but were impartial to showing negative behaviour when they would either 1. Not understand the topic, or 2. They were simply bored of the content because they knew it already. Overall, the key learning issues included insufficient observation tasks and notes, and whether or not the students were fully engaged with the lesson in regard to negative behaviour. I also noticed there was a lack of problem solving, risk-taking, and hands-on activities being present in the classroom. The 21st century pedagogy I have chosen to implement to increase engagement levels in the classroom is active learning. I have also decided to implement project-based learning to promote deep engagements, as stated by Edwards, Munns and Sawyer. Project-based learning, or PBL, is an instructional approach designed to give students the opportunity to develop knowledge and skills through engaging projects to set around challenges and problems they may face in the real world. Barron et al. Offers a set of 4 design principles to support project-based learning, which include 1. Defining learning appropriate goals. 2. Incorporating scaffolding strategies to support learning. 3. Providing opportunities for formative assessment. 4. And promoting a participative classroom culture and a sense of learner agency through self-reflection. This allows students the possibility and the motive to work their way to the solution on their own. During my observations in class, I noticed there was not a lot of hands-on activities being done within the lessons. When students did have the opportunity to work actively, they proved that they were able to adapt their learning when using physical objects. The integration of active learning into lessons would also provide opportunities for students to work together as a team and improve their skills while learning. This 21st century pedagogy links with the MEE framework by allowing students to be more focused and engaged within high cognitive, high affective, and high operative challenges within the classroom. According to Edwards, Hazelton, Leggett and Harrington, Mishra and Patton, active learning and project-based learning encourages problem-solving, risk-taking, constructing their own knowledge, and increasing self-efficiency within the classroom. Here are my 3 engaging learning experiences. The methods I would use to analyze student engagement and achievement are work samples, student engagement in class discussions with observations and notes, as well as student self-assessment. At the end of the first lesson, after class discussion, I will be collecting the students' work samples in their literacy books by asking students to leave their books open on their desks or on the teacher's desk. This gives me the opportunity to also observe and take notes on what students are able to do and what they got out of the lesson. The second method I have planned to use is student observations. During the second lesson, I am able to walk around and observe each student with their mind mapping activities and how they are going with doing an independent task. Here, I will be able to analyze each student's engagement within the lesson. This will be done in a group-to-group basis for majority of the lesson. At the end of the third lesson, I will collect self-assessments from the students about the lessons they have just completed. I have adapted questions used based on the lessons and use this to also connect with my observation and final notes of the students. By doing this, it gives me the opportunity to see how students are going in terms of the learning pedagogies chosen in the classroom as well as their independent learning. Using the 3 types of data collection methods for students, this will give me the opportunity to see where the students are at with their achievements and engagement within their work and the effectiveness of active learning or PBL pedagogies presented in the classroom. In order to do this, I would assess student achievement against the syllabus outcomes and markers of engagement. The data will be analysed to determine whether or not students have progressed or met the outcome within the 3 lessons. I have created the criteria based on the outcomes and observations made during the lessons. After analysing and evaluating the data, I will be placing the data into a high cognitive, affective, and operative engagement table. Further notes will be taken on the type of activities that students were completing at the time of student engagement. By using both sets of data, this will help me provide information on what activities enable students to fully connect with their engagement within the lessons and what did or did not work for the students at the time. This action research has helped me understand what I need to do in order to create an environment in which students will enjoy. By establishing a student-centered classroom and embracing active learning, I am able to defy any myths relating to negative comments on active learning environments within the classroom. Aligning with the Australian Professional Teaching Standards, Standard 3.6.1 allows me to improve teaching programs and methods and evaluate what I am doing right or wrong in the classroom. In my future practice, I am able to go over observation notes and see how the students react to my teaching methods. I believe that carrying out my action research will allow me to see theory and practical frameworks in action, which gives me the opportunity to use Standard 1.2.1, which is understanding how students learn. This will allow me to connect with students through teaching and observations in order to provide them with the tools they need to learn effectively. This also links with the ATSL standards 1.5.1, 3.3.1, and 4.1.1. If I had the opportunity to complete PP1 again, I would implement more of an active learning or PBL approach within my lessons. This would have shown improvement in students' behaviour, their engagement and achievements in the classroom.